What's going on, everybody? I'm Patrick from POWLAX, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the new sixes World Lacrosse format for the Olympics. So, there was some controversy a little while ago. Apparently, some people, had some mean tweets or whatnot, and people think that it looks like a drill, which it does, and not many people really gave rule options, and so I figured I would kind of discuss some of those and kind of my overall thoughts. So, we're going to get into all that. Welcome to the new streaming setup for POWLAX. Just finished it today, so this is what it may look like. We might switch up some colors, do some different things, but I think it looks a lot better than the old one. And yeah, got married, so this was kind of a wedding present, and now I can do a bunch of work. So let's get into the whole sixes idea. So as we go through this, we're just going to watch some of the footage. I don't know if Lacrosse Network cares, but we're going to watch it anyway. So here we have our game. So the first thing that I want to discuss is that I recognize why they're doing what they're doing, right? Like, we want to see lacrosse in the Olympics. Now, with that said, I don't feel that it's a beneficial thing to have lacrosse in the Olympics if it's not the actual game. And I think there's a lot of people who are saying that, and it does look like a drill. Like, it goes back and forth way too quickly. Having the goalie throw the ball out right away, it looks just like West Genny. And so that's what a lot of people have been saying, that it's a glorified West Genny. And to recognize that in order to have lacrosse at the international level, we're going to want to have smaller rosters. And so with 12 total on a roster, you can get a lot of lesser, or a lot of countries that have not played lacrosse as much on the field. The other thing you can do is, with a bunch of Americans and Canadians, you have some people whose grandparents are, say, Scottish, and so they can qualify for those teams, even though they're American. They've been in U.S. their entire lives. They can qualify for the Scottish team because they kind of get grandfathered in, like legitimately grandfathered in. And so, recognizing that the teams that will be put out will be better because of smaller rosters makes sense. The other things is that it looks a lot more like hockey. It looks a lot more like basketball. The problem is that's not the game that most of us recognize and know. Now, lacrosse in and of itself is a game. I believe it's something that can be played in a variety of different ways. This is just another way to play it. And, it's a lot like box on the field. I'm not really a big fan of it. I think there are some things we can change, and, we can get into those as we go. Let's see. So here are my biggest problems. First off, I hate that there's no offsides. I think there should definitely be offsides. I think you should add more players. We'll get more concretely into that in a little bit. But the 30-second shot clock, I think it's great. I don't think there should be a turnover on shots. If you shoot it and you're closer when it goes out of bounds, I think that you should get the ball back, because with a 30-second shot clock, who cares? It's not like it's going to make the game that much faster by turning the ball over because you took a shot. I think that it should be even more fast-paced because you can get the backup. The other big thing that I just cannot stand is no long sticks, and that there's just so much space. And the goals are so big. Having a 6-on-6 goal with 5 short stick players on defense doesn't make much sense. Adding the long poles just gives the defenseman more range. It shrinks the field a bit because of their range, and that's really more of the game that I would like to see. So let's get into my rule changes. So first, I'd rather have it be 8-on-8, extend the field a little bit. You're not going to have to up the rosters that much. I think that a 16-man 8-on-8 roster would be fine, and that you could easily do it just like you can do the 12. Now, here's how the 8-on-8 would run. 2 attack, 2 defensemen, 3 midfielders, and then a goalie, right? So you're 8-on-8, and now we have offsides again. So defensemen are going to have poles again. You can still have an LSM, but so now there's only 3 poles allowed on the field at a time. So the midfield acts the same. There's just 1 less defenseman, 1 less attackman on the field, and that shrinks your roster down to 16, let's say, in comparison to the PLL, which would be 19. So I think that keeps the roster small enough to where you could get those teams on board, but you bring back the ideas of being offsides, of, the traditional 10-on-10 game versus just bringing the box game to the field. I mean, it makes sense to bring the box game to the field in terms of making it look similar to other things that people have seen, but the elements that it is eliminating are the ones that I really like about the field game. It's why I like to coach the field game. It's why I like to play the field game. And, those are the parts that I really enjoyed. In terms of any additional rules, I already mentioned bringing back long sticks. And then who cares if it's shot out of bounds? Just chase. Go get the ball. But so those are my big ones. I don't think it should be 6-on-6. I think it should be 8-on-8. And I'm fine with the goalie passing the ball out, but maybe he can't pass it over midfield first. I don't know. Actually, I really don't even mind that, because once you have defensemen and attackmen on the opposite side of the field who are sitting and waiting, you create the ability to defend transition instead of having breakaways, right? Like, if a goalie is going to throw it up over the midline to a midfielder breaking up field, who knows if a defenseman is going to slide up field early to hit him. And it just, I think it will create the game that we all enjoy without being so much like box, like basketball, like hockey. The up and back where certain players are caught on the opposite side of the field, like having offsides. I like those parts of the game. And so those are the things that I would do. And that's my thought on 6s. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely write, down in the comment section. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And I will catch you guys in the next video.